I'm a writer, artist, and game dev at heart, in vaguely that order. So, when it comes to the final part of making a game or a creative endeavor, I find myself with a hurdle. I absolutely suck at making music. I love music. I mean, I hear. And I just absolutely melt into a pile of crying human. Or the wonderful sound of to make me feel all of the emotions. In the same way I can appreciate an absolutely delicious artwork or a really good fiction piece and be inspired to create something of my own in pure solidarity and creative fulfillment. I try to compose music and we end up with that. It's even worse. When I'm making music, it can make me feel unwell. So if I don't get it right, I have to do more and start to really need a moment to step outside and say hello to the sun. Despite this weak spot in my skill set, out of sheer will, I seem to have composed a song or two for my games that actually suck less than most of my attempts. So, despite the title being something like The Music I've Made in My Games, or Making Music Even When You Aren't Good at It, I'm going to talk partially about my music and partially about my most recent games I've made. I know! I tricked you! Burn me at the stake or something. It's not like I'm going to trap you here. Let's start from the beginning of my games. Telepuzzle was the first major project I ever completed. Basically put, it's a puzzle game where you can teleport anywhere by creating a clone at that location and moving your consciousness over into them. I think there's a game like this already, but at the time and even now I've never actually seen it, so any similarities are likely coincidence. I'm not going to yap about this fun for long, but the mechanic of not being able to teleport when your clone is alive is the main feature of the puzzles. I came up with a few ways to prevent the player from teleporting everywhere as part of the puzzles, while still being able to utilize their ability. This is going to be a long one, isn't it? Anyway, Telepuzzle, for all its existence, is just, yeah, silent the entire time. Well, except for a few sound effects. Envelope Simulator was my next game. Even though it was more concept test for my trigonometry skills, it actually has music. I know, how inventive of me. It is, however, just a repeating, looping melody of random notes, which gets old unbelievably fast. For a tiny Easter-themed game jam, I made a puzzle game where you have to get an egg, while also giving your piety to a deserving plover. Yes, I know it's on brand. Anyway, not much to say because this one is completely. Okay, right, it does have music, but it's not mine. It's Toby Fox's music. It's When I Get Happy I Dance Like This from Deltarune Chapter 2. Obviously not mine, so it doesn't count. But I thought I'd mention it anyway because integrity? Likely my biggest, yet not my best game would be Echoes of Philithia RPG, which follows almost beat for beat the story of my novel up to chapter 7. This one has, again, the entire time. Now, I consider the next game my current magnum opus. 20 seconds to roll. I even made a video about it, entirely about it. So that shows how much I like it. But guess what? Silence. It doesn't have music either. I first didn't have the time to make full soundtrack, but I was also afraid of creating absolutely horrible music and ruining the player experience. There is music for the death screen, though. Finally! Other than a brief mention last video, these next ones are fresh news. And they both actually have music. Wow, so impressive. So mysterious. A Leave the House is a game where the player tries to leave the house and has to learn a string of things they need to do before leaving the house. True paranoia simulator. It's my kind of game. But unfortunately, it does get annoying near the end when you have to do like 17 different things and not forget any of them. Shamelessly using an out-of-canon Lamy as the player because apparently I cannot be bothered making new OCs for my game. Well, except for Inori from 20 Seconds to Roll. But that game is my magnum opus, so like of course I'd put extra effort in. I wanted to have a relatively dynamic music for Leave the House, so I composed a basic melody and added variations on it depending on the state of the game. Extra instruments for having the oven on or the fridge opened, and different pitch tones for the characters on screen, which actually have some harmony, and I'm really proud of that. So now, instead of one boring loop, it's 5 slightly different boring loops. Actually, no, I need to find my perfectionism. They're much better than my other stuff before this. And my second place favourite game of mine has 2 music tracks. The Planting Festival, which I barely mentioned in my Echoes of Philithia video, is set on the Asai/Utopia, and is a dating simulator with heaps of world-building fun from me thrown in. This was for a game jam, and I had so much fun making it, I don't really care that it got a mention, but also I'm so proud that both of my game jam submissions in the past 2 years have got mentions. It has a daytime track for talking to people, which, I mean, it's actually not too bad as a loop, plus a nighttime track, which only has the rhythm and ambience. Chat, I don't really know where I was going with this video, so I'm really sorry if it's boring. I hope to do more music in the future, despite not being very good at it. I will always admire people who can make really good music, like Toby Fox, Lena Raine, Andrew Prallo, and Jamie Page. Have you seen Vocaloid? That's so cool. Like Flavor Foley. I have no idea how much of this rant is going to go in the video, but like, music is so good. Like, seriously, how can we create such a spectacular thing auditorily? I really wish I was better at it. So I guess I just gotta practice because it's the same thing with my art. The more I do it, the better I get. See you later, humans and other assorted species. Have a great one. 12 minutes, holy